guys, so thanks for tuning in to this video. I'm assuming that you're here because of the title, or that you're interested in moving into the cybersecurity field, whether you are a newly graduate or you're an established professional that's just looking to make a career change. So you may be asking yourself, well, who the heck is this guy? We'll get to that in a second. But first, quick question for you. Did you know that it's projected by next year that there will be 3.5 million unfilled cybersecurity jobs? That's a lot of jobs. Also, did you know that the cybersecurity unemployment rate last year in 2019 was 0%? As a matter of fact, it's been 0% for the past 8 years. So my question for you is, why are you not in cybersecurity? My name is Darius. I'm a senior application penetration tester. I've worked for a couple of Big Four accounting firms as a cybersecurity and privacy consultant. I've interviewed with the Googles and the Facebooks of the world, but before all of that, I was actually you. So, like some of you, I didn't start my career in cybersecurity. I actually started my career in IT audit. I liked the people that I worked with, but I wasn't excited about the work. I was more excited and interested in cybersecurity, but I didn't know how to get into a cybersecurity role, per se. I did a lot of research about cybersecurity. I even approached a partner at my firm that I was working for at that time about moving over into the cyber group, and he told me, okay, I want you to pass the CISSP and we'll talk about moving you over. So I went home that night, I looked up CISSP everything. CISSP, 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 CISSP. It was branded into my brain as my way to get into cybersecurity. And I'll tell you, that was not an easy process. To try to jump directly into a field that I had no experience in was delusional, to say it nicely. So I began studying for the certification, and during that time I went and I researched and I learned about all the domains within cybersecurity. And about 3 months after that, I ended up taking the exam and I failed. 3 months of studying and I failed. It taught me one thing, and one thing that I even see now. Cybersecurity isn't a 3-month learning period. It's actually a lifelong learning experience. Although I failed the certification, I didn't let it stop me from applying for as many cybersecurity positions as I could find. Literally, every cybersecurity position that I could find on LinkedIn, I applied for. Oh yeah, every one. I have a lot of applications out there, a lot, but it's consistency. And so I actually ended up getting a job as a cybersecurity engineer with no security experience, none. I hadn't passed the CISSP at this point, but I ended up getting the job. When I was actually able to make that transition into a cybersecurity engineer, I actually got a 20K raise, which is another reason why you should actually be interested in cybersecurity. The pay is good, mostly because of the limited amount of talent that we currently have to fulfill those positions, but it's also an interesting field and it's stable. After I joined this employer as a cybersecurity engineer, about 4 to 5 months later, I actually passed the CISSP, which I was like ecstatic. I was so happy. The amount of time that I put in studying for that particular certification, it was tough. was mentally tough because, you know, I did a lot of tests, I did a lot of studying in the beginning, and I still failed that certification. But now I hold multiple certifications. Here's a few things that I like to share with you guys in regards to my approach of how I actually was able to get into a cybersecurity job. So first was education. That was the CISSP for me. You know, it's so important when you interview for a cybersecurity position that you actually are competent about the field, not just about what you would like to do. But it comes off from a recruiter's perspective. Well, if a candidate could do this job, and he also knows how his particular role within cybersecurity interacts, relates, and is dependent on other domains of within cybersecurity, then they're most likely the more competent candidate. What I would suggest that you begin learning first. Whether it's studying for a certification such as the CISSP, e-learning has some courses, offensive security has courses. You can find a course for anything that you want to learn online. You can use udemy.com, you can use YouTube, which is probably the preferred place for you to go. Just do your basic searches in regards to the position that you want. The next step, number 2, is technical capability. And this is dependent on the position that you actually want to go into. So since I wanted to go into more of a penetration testing field, I had to have some type of technical capability. So I knew how to develop web applications. I developed mobile applications as well. I just didn't know how to apply those in security and how to actually, what that process was like basically. Step 3 is your ability to network. This is actually pretty important because if I would have never asked that partner about getting into cybersecurity, I would have never gotten into cybersecurity. Although he gave me an impossible task. One, because it required that you have 5 years of experience before you actually take that exam. But it gave me the push that I needed to jumpstart my learning process. And so after networking with him, I began to network with different cybersecurity professionals on LinkedIn. I ended up joining some meetups for cybersecurity, specifically OWASP, which I'm a part of. So that's another one. I definitely suggest that you join a cybersecurity forum or an organization. Consistency will be the biggest player in your success in cybersecurity. And the reason for that is because cybersecurity is forever changing. Technology changes literally every 6 months. So does our perceived threats, risks, and potential APTs, which is advanced persistent threats, which you might not be familiar with these terms, but that's why I stressed in the beginning to ensure that you are, one, educated, and that you can actually have a conversation with a cybersecurity professional. I'll do a series of videos following this that goes into more depth in all of these steps of what you should actually do and how you can position yourself as best as possible to get a cybersecurity job and to get your salary up. A lot of you don't know how to use LinkedIn properly. I'll make a separate video about that, but LinkedIn is your best friend when it comes to getting the job that you want, but it's usually unused and used ineffectively, which is weird because you actually have everything you need there, but you don't. Okay, we'll get to it. I'll actually show you guys how to step up your game in regards to certifications and how you can position yourself to be the #1 candidate, because it's important. Just because there's 3.5 million jobs that will be unfilled doesn't mean that people aren't applying for them. They are. But what do you offer? What do you bring to the table? Let me help you with that.